Welcome to this edition of the Black Belt Newscast. This is Cindy Fisher, I'm publisher.
I'm Todd Prater, reporter. Hey.
We are so excited to be with you here today. Have so many headlines out of the Black Belt. And as you know, Black Belt News Network, we are at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. We are posting stories all day, every day out of the Black Belt, which we love here in the middle of Alabama. And so let's get started with some stories that are the top stories this week in the Black Belt. This one is so much fun. Alligator season. This is
Oh,
huge
yeah.
for the Black Belt. Big ecotourism. We get so many people that come out that get tags in order to come get themselves a gator. Tell
Yeah.
us some more about it, Todd.
Well, there's three zones in this part of the state: the West Central Zone, which is what we're in. Then there's the Coastal Zone and the Southwest Zone. And gator season for them is over with. Let's see, West Central Zone, 36 gators were taken. The biggest one was 437 pounds, 8 feet long. 73 in the Southwest Zone, 534 pounds was their biggest, 12 feet, almost 13 feet long. And then in the Coastal Zone, 524 pounds was their biggest, and they had 27 harvested. Now, keep in mind, we get 50 tickets. The Coastal Zone gets 50 tickets. The Southwest gets 100. So they had 73 taken because there's more. But I talked to Marianne Galden, who is the wildlife biologist over at Wildlife and Freshwater Fisheries, and she said that gator season went well. They were happy with the information that they got from all the gators that were harvested, and they're looking forward to next season. No word yet if they're going to make any changes, but probably not. But, the American alligator has been a fantastic conservation story, huge success story. They, like deer in Alabama, were almost hunted to extinction. And Alabama was the first state to enact laws protecting the gator back in 1938, I think it was. And now the population is so big that in 2006 we started the gator hunt for population control. One of the reasons we started.
So cool, and I love hearing the stories. And
yeah,
I have gators in my area, especially the Wilcox property. They're off near G's Bend. We have some property out there in Wilcox County, and we had this little 6-footer. And I was like, but he would eat everything that we threw out on when we were fishing. And he would always grab, like, especially my catfishing bait. He loved that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do anything with this little guy here.
Those little 6-footers,
tag.
Over time, those 6-footers get to be bigger and bigger.
I know, but I think somebody got him last season, because I haven't seen him since.
Maybe so. And that's one of the things Marianne was saying, is they want us to take a wide variety of sizes and weights. That's a good thing for the population. The world's largest alligator, the Stokes gator, was taken not far from the G's Bend area you're talking about.
That's right.
Ferry.
And if you go to Black Belt News Network's YouTube channel, you will see us talking to Mandy Stokes about their alligator. It's a really great video. It's gotten a lot of views. So go check that out. Let's talk about let's stay in Wilcox County for a second. Their courthouse has needed some cleaning. What's the update on that?
Well, it looks like they've still got a little work to do. They've been working for a couple of months now, getting the mold and mildew. They've even found lead paint and asbestos. So they're working to get all that cleared out. ServPro is doing the work. That's what they do, clean up these type of situations. And they've actually had to fumigate some of the items that they've taken out of the courthouse that they're moving to the what it was called Wilcox Works, where the temporary offices will be set up. So they're getting everything cleaned up. They don't know exactly how much longer it's going to take, but they say that they're trying to get it done in a timely fashion. So still got a lot to do, though.
What a mess. But they have relocated, and so the office is open. It's just that the Wilcox Works office.
Yeah, and I mean, they still got the ventilation system and the walls. I mean, it's just going to take a while. So
I'm glad they're doing that, though, to get that moving.
Yeah, because that's very dangerous. And black mold can be deadly.
Let's move over to Selma next.
Let's move into Selma.
We've got a property. This is the Bird School, and it is actually under the city ownership now. And the owner of the St. James has a letter of intent to buy this property and turn it into multifamily apartments with a community pool and tennis courts. And so that will be, it's been talked about being sold for years,
Right.
and nothing has ever gone through. So this is what came in front of the city council, with discussions of accepting this letter of intent for sale. But there's a few hiccups or steps they have to make, which includes the zoning. Is it zoned for? It is a historic district, so
Right.
do they have zoning for multifamily for that area, and do they have to change that? This is a first step, but we have heard a lot about this property over the years, and this is the first step toward selling it.
And it's such a beautiful property that hopefully it's going to all go through and everything will work out to the betterment of the whole neighborhood and good of the people. Because
Yeah.
one thing that we do need is more decent housing in the area.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's go to the river again.
Oh yeah, back to
There's
the
a
river.
Bass
Let's all gather at the river.
Benefit Bass Tournament.
Benefit Bass Tournament, Saturday the 19th. What a great turnout. There were 39 boats that fished and volunteers like crazy. Pepsi was making sure everybody had plenty to drink. It was a big, lots of sponsors helped them out. The benefit was for Charles Helms. There's your winners right there. That is Mark and Jackson Jones, father and son team. There's a couple of fish that they caught. They won $1,000 for their efforts. And there's Mr. Helms. That's Charles Helms. He's been fighting cancer. So some of his friends got together, fellow anglers, and said, let's put on a bass tournament. Because, people who've dealt with insurance know that there's always gaps. There's always something that insurance didn't completely cover. And so that's what they did, is to help.
Everything.
Yeah, help raise money to fill those gaps.
Awesome.
And Charles Helms said he was so just humbled and honored that people would take time out of their day and do something like that for he and his family. He really a nice man, and I'm glad, and we say our prayers to him and his family that hopefully the cancer will be gotten.
And organizers said that it was actually 39 boats was not too many, and that maybe Selma should host more.
Well, that's one of the things. Bucky Barrett was one of the organizers, and he and I were talking about it. He said, with 39 boats, even though we could have more, it went flawlessly. And if the city will do those the improvements that they said they were going to do, and they're supposed to start that in September. The tornado delayed it. It's supposed to start in September. If
we'll
they'll do those
improvements and bring it to you at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com, right, Todd?
Yeah, we're going to get a lot more on that. Oh, certainly. But one of the good things, Bucky was saying, look, there is no reason why Selma can't, and this is multiple people said this, no reason why Selma can't have big tournaments, just like Bridgeport down in Camden and Demopolis Landing over in Demopolis, and we can have some of that tourism here in our town.
That's great. Yeah, my son did that tournament.
Yeah, Will's turned into a good little angler.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch. So let's move over to Demopolis and Thomasville.
Right there. Love
Tell us about this highway expansion.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the highway expansion first. From Thomasville to Tuscaloosa, that highway 43, which it goes not too far from Demopolis. And what it is, they want to expand the highway, want to widen it, because it's 4 lanes from Thomasville to Mobile. But that stretch right there from Tuscaloosa to Thomasville is mostly all 2-lane. Some of it's dangerous. Matter of fact, in the past, it's been called Highway 43. And they were talking about, and even broke ground on, a 4-lane expansion, except that Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth has decided he'd rather put that money to expansion of 65 because it is always so congested and it has more traffic. And they're saying, why spend money on an area that doesn't get as much traffic when we can work on the area that, most of the Alabamians drive on? Well, I can understand to a point, but at the same time, why choke off the economy on one side of the state when, making that highway wider would really make transferring goods and services back and forth.
It
so
is an
much easier.
it's an economic boom that it could bring to the
Yeah,
area.
it could very well
It
be.
would be a concern if, yes, it makes it easier to get to the beach from Huntsville, but what about our side of the state that
Right.
really needs that extra oomph for our transportation?
Right. The Black Belt could really use that extra boost because the
Yes.
the infrastructure in our area, not only is it old, but it's inadequate for today's world.
So let's talk about and stay in Demopolis for a sec.
Let's stay in the model for a second.
Tell me about this University of Alabama Community Health Sciences.
Yeah, the Department of Health Science it's the College of Community Health Science. They have September 22nd this vehicle is going to be there, and it is for people who want to be part of a research program. They'll take different healthcare samples, and you'll have to fill out some forms and stuff like that. They may even take DNA. So, be aware, you have to sign a consent for all this. But if you're interested in joining this research study, they'll be at the Ratliff Activity Center on First Avenue in Demopolis from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The 22nd of September. So that's kind of some interesting stuff going on there.
I want to add here that as we wrap up, that we now have a podcast.
Yeah.
In the Black Belt podcast. And this one's about outdoors. We have also our headlines for the day, and it is audio podcast hosted by our very own Todd Brader with his beautiful radio voice, giving you the top headlines. And podcasts, we find that we are trying to reach you, the viewers, readers, wherever you are, on your phones, on your drive, so that you know what's going on in the Black Belt and you know it when you need to know it and when you want to hear it. So check with actually on blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. There is a podcast button in the menu. So you can go to that each day, and that's where you can find us and our audio way of listening to what's going on. We also put up there our audio from this very newscast, and that's part of a podcast too. We want to make it easier for you to know what's going on in the Black Belt and the counties that we cover here in the Black Belt.
In the Black Belt is a little shorter form. It's usually 2 to 4 minutes or so. Then there's this one that's a little bit more long form.
Yes.
And then you can get this one on the YouTube with video. So we're giving you every opportunity and every possible format so that it's convenient to you. And it's like they say, it's on demand when you demand.
I actually put it under these newscasts are under podcasts on YouTube as well. So we have it in so many different places where you can see us, hear us, and know what's going on in the Black Belt. And we always want to say thank you to our sponsors.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you for what you do for the community and for the Black Belt News Network and the Selma Sun. And you want to be a sponsor as well, email us at news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com, and we will add you to this list where you can have your message shared with the community. And always, always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We are everywhere at Black Belt News Network. And the Selma Sun's on there too, but we are bringing the news to you wherever you are, and that is it for us this week. We have so much.
We got to remind them that if they have a news tip.
Yes, if you have a news tip, send it to the news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com.
Yeah.
Go to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com for all of these stories. There's also a submit your news button that is on blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. And also make sure to get our newsletter. An e-newsletter comes to your email every day at 3 o'clock. It has all the top headlines of the day. You will stay informed. So stay tuned for the next Black Belt Newscast. Next week, we will see you then.
See ya.